delighted that we have such a happy, rowdy, talkative bunch. We have a very exciting long day planned for you, so we will go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here today. I'm Melissa Forgy. I'm the Executive Director of the DeKalb History Center, and we are just really thrilled to have a near-capacity crowd today. This program is brought to you through the hard work of the staff and the board of the DeKalb History Center. I would ask for all of our board members who are here to stand up and be recognized now for your hard work and support. And of course, many of you have already met our superlative new board member, Tiffany Parks, because she has contacted you about presenting today or perhaps being a sponsor. She has brought this entire program together, including the dramatic narrative that you'll be treated to, and I think she really deserves an extra special, her own round of applause. I would like to thank our Guardian level sponsors, the City of Doraville, and the DeKalb Convention and Visitors Bureau. And we also thank our historian level sponsors, Arabia Mountain National Heritage Area, the Clerk of Superior Court for DeKalb County, and the Decatur Downtown Development Authority and Zest Atlanta Catering. And while we did not get money from the Decatur Beer Festival for this program, I would like to publicly acknowledge them for this new podium and our new screen, the first time we get to use those. Funded by the Decatur Beer Festival, so remember that next year when you drink up. We have a number of elected officials we would also like to welcome. Our new CEO, Michael Thurmond, will be joining us a little later in the program, so we'll just make an adjustment for that, for him to speak and join us. But other elected officials, and if I don't call your name, please stand up and wave. We have the Honorable Patricia Wheeler, Mayor of Stone Mountain. Deborah DeBerry, Clerk of Superior Court. Sheriff Jeff Mann. I didn't see him this morning, okay. And from the City of Doraville, standing in for the Honorable Donna Pittman, Mayor of Doraville, I believe Sean Gillen. All right, I think that's everyone. We're really excited about today's program. I will turn it over to Tiffany. Thank you for being here. Thank you for your support.
Good morning. My name is Tiffany Parks. Oh, thank you. Wow. My name is Tiffany Parks, and we'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be here with us this morning. We have an excellent program lined up for you. The subject is the history and historic preservation of Flat Rock and Shermantown. Before we start, I would like to bring a few things to your attention. In the back, you guys will see tables. I think the table on the far left is the membership table of DeKalb History Center. So if you guys want to become members, just stop by before you leave so that we can continue to bring you this high quality programming. Also, several of the presenters have written books. And there is a book table back there. If you want to purchase their books, everything is available for purchase back there. Also, there is a display table for the Flat Rock and Shermantown communities. If you want to take brochures and handouts, that's available for you to take with you. And also, there's donation cards for the Flat Rock Museum. Okay, so another important note, you guys. Fred is the timekeeper. Wave your hand, Fred. There he is back there. He's the timekeeper for our event, so we want to stay on time, okay? So don't be alarmed if you see him standing up like this. That's just Fred just keeping us on time, okay? So Our moderator for today, and just like Melissa mentioned, Michael Thurman will be here later on, okay? So he'll be giving remarks later on. Our moderator for today's event is Miss LaDoris Davis. Miss Davis is an educator and storyteller who has provided interactive storytelling programs and workshops for domestic and international audiences. And so she will be our moderator for today. And she has asked me to put some things out for her, so that's what I'm doing in real time. So I put this right here and this here. Okay, so that's what she will be doing. And I think that's all from me. And I hope you guys enjoyed the show. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
My eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage where the grapes of the rancid stew. He has loosed the faithful lightning, this cowbell swift flow. His truth is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. The year was 1865, and the slaves were free. We had been beaten down in our bodies and our spirits. But as free men and women, we left the bad memories of slavery behind us and began to forge ahead to a brighter future. We spread out all across war-torn DeKalb County to build freedom communities. We built places like Shermantown and Mount Zion and Flat Rock and Beacon Hill. And later on, we built Linwood and Macedonia Park. We are here today to celebrate these brave ex-slaves and what they built. The first community we want to celebrate is the Flat Rock community. It is considered the oldest black community in DeKalb County. The Flat Rock community was a community of farmers. They had their hands on the plow, but their minds were always forging ahead. This is a tool used by Reverend T.A. Bryant. He used a hammer and he used handcrafted tools. He not only used tools to build his house, which is still standing, and has been converted to the Flat Rock Archives Museum. Now these tools did not only build houses, these tools built strong men and women. And now, Mr. Johnny Waits will come to give a history of the African American community of Flat Rock. Mr. Waits is the founder and CEO of the Flat Rock Archives Museum. He received the Georgia Trust for Historic Preservation Award for excellence in preservation service. Please, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome Mr. Johnny Waits.
I don't know how I can follow that. She said, sing a song. I can do that. Thank y'all so much for recognizing the Flat Rock community. First of all, I want to thank Tiffany and I think I have 15 minutes up here. That's a long time for me, because I can talk very fast. I want to thank the DeKalb History Center and Melissa and Tiffany for putting this together. Michael Thurman when he gets in. We have a few members of our board here. Jean Spencer, could you stand or raise your hand? She's about short as I am. Jean. We got Mr. Vincent Harris. He is tall as I want to be. And then we got some of the Flat Rock community that will be you'll hear from later on, some of the Flat Rock community. We also have, I'm a part of the Arabia Mountain staff. Where's Mira? And Kelly here yet? Yeah, Mira is our executive director. And Ron, our chairperson. All the Arabia Mountain staff, would you please stand? Thank you, Mira. Yeah, they kind of shy folks. You know, we out there in Lithonia. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry, Stonecrest. Everybody gets it. That's pretty cool. I'm going to start with my presentation. We are so glad that we're finally being recognized as one of the oldest black communities in DeKalb County. And we know that Shermantown is running close behind, because we noticed when Stone Mountain was founded. You know, Stone Mountain was founded around 1837. Can anybody tell me that first name of Stone Mountain? Say it a little louder. New Gibraltar. New Gibraltar. That was the first name of Stone Mountain. And we only lost by one vote before our state capital was in Stone Mountain. Oh, Lord. But later on, in 1940, we know that Stone Mountain was born and has been a great city. Martin Luther King talked about that city, and we know that Stone Mountain has progressed, and we know that Shermantown is running close right behind Flat Rock as being one of the oldest communities. I can't wait to hear a little bit more about Shermantown and those glasses in that church. Which church is that has the?
Bethsaida Baptist Church.
Bethsaida Baptist Church. They have Italian glass in their church, people. They're probably the only one in the state of Georgia. But you got to go see it. It is beautiful. Now let me talk a little bit about Flat Rock. Some of the oldest people in our community and some of the oldest names that are in our community. I'm just going to go through the names. Some of the oldest black people that are in DeKalb County, all the way from the Waits family, which I am, the Shoemaker family, the Software family, the Tanner family, the Christian family, the Lyons family, the Bailey family, and the Wise family. Those are some of the oldest black families in DeKalb County. And how many have you heard of Flat Rock before? Oh, wow, look at that. That's pretty cool. I guess you said that's why I paid $40 to come here, too. But thank you for keeping up with the Flat Rock community. If you haven't been to the Flat Rock Archive, the Flat Rock Archive is a house of T.A. Bryant Sr., and the house is 100 years old this year. We're going to have a birthday party for the house in October. So if you want to come and help us join, the house was built by T.A. Bryant Sr., and he was born in 1894, in 1894 in DeKalb County. And how many heard of the actor Chris Tucker? That's his great-grandfather's house, which the museum is located in. And if you haven't came out and visited us, we opened 10 years ago, last year. We are now 10 years old. We're up to 20,000 visitors at the archive. If you don't know anything about the Flat Rock community, we've been in the same location out in that area since slavery. My great-great-grandmother, Eliza Waits, was born in Flat Rock in 1823. DeKalb County was only 1 year old at that time, because we broke off from Henry County, but she was born there, and we have our own slave cemetery in the community. It's 100 and, when they did the survey, it's 175 bodies. It's on the third highest point in DeKalb County. And we are told, our cemetery has been studied by the Georgia State University Archaeology and Anthropology Department, and we are told that we may have took over the cemetery from the Creek Indians, which there's a Creek Indian city, which is Minas Creek, and it's about 10,000 years old, just 700 yards from our cemetery. So it's a lot of exciting things going around in Arabia Mountain. And because I have to call myself Arabia Mountain, there's only 38 in the whole country, and we just happen to be one of the historical preservation part of Arabia Mountain. Just a little history. Eddie Anderson right here did a video on us 10 years ago. Does it seem like that long, Eddie? Golly, 10 years ago. And he started with the Creek Indians. Y'all, everybody knows that this is Creek Indian territory. In 1820, we're not even in the United States right here. It's not even the United States right now. So we just so proud that we are still in the same location. Creeks took over, they left the state of Georgia around 1840. And then, but they was completely gone by 1840, I'll put it that way. Henry County was born in 1821, and DeKalb split from Henry County around 1822. The population for DeKalb was only 2,500 people during that time. One of the oldest church, oldest black church, Flat Rock, was started in 1860 by slaves, and they later built the church. And you can see that church back on our exhibit table. It was a beautiful, beautiful church. They actually tore the church down in 1971. It was actually nothing wrong with the church. And I even asked my daddy, I was 10 years old, so don't add it up. I asked my daddy, why are they tearing down the church? He said, because we got a new one. Now, the old church said 300 and some people. The new church said 98 people, so I didn't understand that. But they tore down the church, and they actually buried the church in the same location that it stood. And with Arabia Mountain and help in the future, we're actually going to put a monument out at the location in the exact same footprint of the church. But moving right along, DeKalb County first census in 1830 had about 8,000 people in it. 1,600 of those people were slaves on the first census in 1830. But there were 17 freed black people in this county. 17 in 1830. 17. We know some of them had to be midwives. Some of them had to be preachers. But that's a lot of folks that were free. But we don't know what the other ones are. The first post office for the territory, Flat Rock had its first post office in 1837. It was located at 155 and Panola Road. And guess who was the first postmaster general for the post office? Margaret Mitchell's grandfather that wrote the book Going with the Wind was the first postmaster general for that post office located in Flat Rock. And then, just because we're honoring Stone Mountain and Shermantown today, Shermantown, came in around 1839, and By 1840, it was moving strong. DeKalb County census, that next census was 10,000 people, and there was 22,000 slaves in DeKalb then. But this is the big number. There was only 2 freed blacks. Now, where did those other 15 people go? Atlanta wasn't even born yet. But that's a good question. I would like to know where they went. But they wasn't in DeKalb anymore. The first census before the blacks actually was counted, DeKalb County split. And can anybody tell me what split off of DeKalb County? Fulton County. A lot of people don't know that. Fulton is the birthplace of DeKalb County. So, but Tiffany wanted me to say some things. You know, when people come to the archive, you know, people get excited about different things. And this is, since Tiffany is the grand master of this program today, I thought I'd talk about a little bit about what she was excited about. This is my great-grandmother here. Her name was Agnes Wise Waits. She married a Waits. And the brooch that she is wearing, she told her kids in New York that it was her grandmother's brooch. And so it would be my great-great-great-grandmother, and the brooch that she's wearing, the kids, when the caretaker of this brooch, died, she asked that they bring it back to the museum, and this is the only thing that we have. They actually did bring the brooch back to us. So this is the only thing that we have of Eliza Waits that was born a slave in 1823. And if you heard of Warren Moon, Chris Tucker, Willie Gault, those are all of our relatives that's descended from the family. We have been seen just about in every state through African American lives. You can still to this day order this if you want to see it. It's when they looked up Chris Tucker, Oprah Winfrey, they looked up all T.D. Jakes. They went back and looked up all of their roots. You probably, people like you, because if you're here today, you probably have already seen us on TV, but you can order it through PBS. Henry Louis Gates. It's now called Finding Your Roots. It was called African American Lives when it started, but I think he's up to number 28 or 29, and we was the very first one that he did with African American Lives. And another thing that she got excited about, this is my family here, the Waits family, and they was mulattoes. Who know what mulattoes are? What'd you say? Yeah, you don't even have to be half white. You're just a little white. Or a lot of white. We have a few mulattoes in here today. But this is my family here. This is John Waits, my great-grandfather, my aunt's grandfather. This is, and how many heard of Warren Moon before? Yeah, this is also his great-grandfather. This right here is Agnes Waits. These are all sisters and brothers born slaves in our slave cemetery. This right here is Agnes Waits. How many heard of Willie Gault before? Well, good. This is his great-grandmother. This is Andrew Waits. Now, Andrew Waits has a stone this high. He was born a slave in 1855, but he has a stone this high in our slave cemetery. We don't know how he got it. He died in 1905. When he died, they carried his whole family to Cincinnati, Detroit, and one more city, but I can't think of it right now. But they carried the whole family up there. Even his wife is buried in Cincinnati, Ohio. So, but we don't know how he came up with a stone. It's a beautiful stone. It's called a altar, about like this right here. And it has drapery on it and the holy city. But his family went to Chicago, Detroit, and Cincinnati. And the strange thing about it, most of his kids and grandkids became doctors of music. I don't know, anybody in here from Chicago? Have anybody heard of the Wooten Choral Ensemble? Yo, she's heard of it. His grandson founded the Wooten Choral Ensemble, Dr. Wooten, in Chicago, and they're still the oldest recording gospel choir in the country. This right here is Crawford Waits. This is Chris Tucker's great-grandfather and my great-uncle, and but these are some of the things that people really like to see when they come down to the archive. We actually have a table in the back, you guys, with some of the pictures and things. But the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the education, and I know you hear a lot more about that from our panel today that's here. You read it in the program, some of the members that are here. But Mr. Bryant was born around 1894, but in DeKalb County, you wasn't, during that time period around up to 1909, you was only allowed to go to the 3rd grade. That's the highest Mr. Bryant could go, was to the 3rd grade. And there was no more school, there was fields. You had to work in the fields after the 3rd. It later graduated. My parents was only allowed to go to the 7th grade in this county. If you wanted to go to high school in this county, you had to go to Lucy Laney in Augusta or Washington High School in Atlanta if you wanted to finish high school. Now, around 1947, they finally started letting blacks finish school in this county. It was around 1946, 47 where they could finish school. I found out myself that my mother wasn't allowed to finish the school. And I found out a lot of other people weren't allowed to finish school in DeKalb County. So I approached the DeKalb County School Board and asked them, you know, these people did what they supposed to do. And I think my aunt even went to the 11th grade, and I think Ms. Martha went above her grade. But we found at least 17 people 10 years ago and had a graduation for them in DeKalb County. They all got their diplomas from DeKalb County. Y'all, I'm going to be on a panel later on to discuss more about the history of Flat Rock, but I didn't see the card go up, so I'm doing. Okay, now it's up. I'm doing pretty good today. But thank y'all so much for your time and effort. And I heard that this was a sold-out crowd, and I'm so grateful for Melissa and her entire staff for doing this today. And thank you again for coming.